Welcome to Penalty Box Radio live on 102.5 The Game. I'm your host, Shaun Smith. Joining me tonight, as always, is my co-host, Ann Kimmel, also of Penalty Box Radio. This is what Ann and I are calling the most Monday Wednesday ever.
It is the most Monday Wednesday ever.
And I think in this segment where we usually make nice with Ann, we're going to make nice, but we'll also discuss it's just very Monday today.
It is, but let's not skip over the make nice with Ann because then it will just emphasize the Monday-ishness.
Right. And it's great to have you here. And I just want to say to everybody out there listening, especially if you're listening live, you know, we did a podcast-only show last week.
We did.
There's so much going on. We had to discuss it. So if you missed that and you're like, what did they talk about last week? I bet it was exciting. It was.
Oh, it was.
There was a lot going on. You can find that anywhere you get podcasts. Just search Penalty Box Radio. If you give us a follow, too, on the Spotify, that would be great. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, that's great. Everybody listens on the Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I'll take it. But either way, go check that show out. And we've had some 30-minute shows recently. Mm-hmm. We've done a lot of shows from home on Zoom, and we've had to really truncate the Make Nice with Ann time. So
it's disappointing. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know, and I felt like we didn't do it, you know, justice. So it's great to have you here, and it's good to be in the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing well on this Mondayest of Wednesdays. I'm doing all right. How about you? It's been nice. Can we talk about how nice it has been? And I hate to be this guy, but how about this weather, y'all?
Oh, wow.
How about this weather?
Just I think yesterday was it? I got up and it was cold. And then I left work and it was nice. And I was like, hold on.
It's time for me to get my chainsaw out.
What world am I living in? It was great. I have no complaints. It's been a nice day today. Spring's definitely not here.
No, it's going to get crazy again.
But at least I'm not sliding out of my driveway to my car.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. And you know, usually, hey, we talk about PBR week. So the PBR week, of course, is the week from show to show when we talk about what the Preds did. There's not a lot going on. So we're going to talk this week. We're going to start by jumping into some Olympic talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're going to talk about the Preds. And then to close the show, we'll talk about the Olympics again. So we're going to do a little book ending where we've got Olympics, Preds, and Olympics. And I think that'll be exciting. And we're going to start this week off, just like we do every week that we can, with our happies and crappies.
Yeah.
Ann's got some really good stuff to talk about. I'm sure mine, by comparison, less good. But we'll start with Ann.
So I'm going to start with my happy. Don't put yourself down. Your crappy may be great.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to start with my happy, of course. And it is actually Olympics related. Really want to shout out and was delighted to see and not at all surprised Roman Josi named captain of Team Switzerland. Of course, he was captain of the men's competition. Gosh, when was that? What is time? What is space?
I don't know. I don't even know what year it is.
I don't either. I'm still writing the wrong number.
It's fine.
But that's okay. But Roman Josi, love seeing him named captain. And again, I think sometimes here in Nashville, we may fall into the trap of forgetting that Roman Josi is Roman Josi, y'all.
Right. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and he is a big deal. And we see it, you know, we watch it game in, game out, practice in, practice out. But I love that for Roman Josi. Excited yet again that he is, of course, a leader on Team Switzerland, captain. The captain.
It's got to be exciting to be the captain for your country's team. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Now let me tell you what I don't want to see when it comes to Roman Josi. When he was at the men's worlds, in the year of our Lord, I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
When they lost and got the silver, I don't want to see that look on Roman Josi's face again. So, you know, we'll see. And we'll talk about this later. Put a pin in that. We're going to circle back to what we think about the Olympics. But yeah, Roman Josi, the captain yet again.
I like that.
Yeah.
It shows that he's not just captain material here, but on the international stage as well.
Love that.
And normally I think we jump over to my happy, but I think I want to do your happy.
Okay.
We can do the crappies. I can do my crappy first. It doesn't matter. And then we'll close with a happy. Does that work?
Oh, I think that's nice.
Okay.
Let's bookend some happies.
Do you want to go next or do you want me to do my crappy?
I'll just go ahead on a roll. I'm on a roll.
Okay.
My crappy, also Olympic related. This has to do with women's Olympic hockey, which, by the way,
it's all Olympic related.
It is all
Spoiler alert.
It is. Love, if you are not watching the women's hockey, you are missing out on some fabulous hockey games.
Absolutely.
But my crappy is that one of, if not the best female hockey player in the world, Marie-Philippe Poulin, who plays for Team Canada, she was injured in a game. She has a lower body injury, injured in the game versus Czechia, which meant she did not play in Canada-US in the prelims.
Right.
And Canada-US women's can be as juicy and fun as Canada-US men's, and so it was
more intense.
Yeah, when you are watching the Olympics in any sport, you want best on best.
Absolutely.
Crappy for me is that Canada is missing, and we're still waiting to find out long term what this means for her as far as her Olympics moving forward. But hate to see her injured.
Nobody wants that.
No.
I agree. That's no fun. You kind of, and especially when you think about the fact that, any Olympian, whether you are an NHL player, speed skater, whatever it is, you've been training for this for a long time, and this is a big deal. And so to get injured right before you're going into the tournament part of it is not, that's the last thing you want to see happen.
Yeah, tough.
My crappy, again, spoiler alert, all Olympics related, it's just the waiting.
Yes.
The waiting is the hardest part.
Yes.
That makes a good song. I don't know if anyone wants to throw it together. I really wanted the men's hockey to start sooner. I understand they had to get there, and
it's
they had
a whole
to
thing.
adjust and jet lag, and they had to have time to practice. But at the end of the day, what I think, and I know you understand this, we have an NHL season that provides us with a continuous, steady, IV mainline drip of NHL action.
It does.
And when you're addicted to something,
yes,
it's hard to come off of it. And so I know you're like, well, it's only been a week. Yeah,
it has.
It's been a really hard. Look what it's done to this Wednesday. It's made it
Monday,
the Mondayest Wednesday ever, and it just almost feels like off season. I'm like, well, there's nothing to. I guess I don't know what I'm going to talk about or think about today.
Yeah, I feel a little lost.
Just
like that
lost.
Week feels a little like I do feel like I'm a little lost.
Without direction.
What to do?
Yeah.
What to do?
What are we? And I'm like, well, we've got to do a show this week. It's like, what are we going to talk about?
I know it feels like hockey was years ago.
I know. In the before times.
Yes, in the year of our Lord a while ago.
And now, and when I was thinking about this earlier, I was like, that's probably a good crappy. But then I saw the Finland game today, and then
all right, let's just go there.
So UC Saros played in net for Finland today, and it wasn't good.
Finland was not good.
Now, I'm not going to say that this is all on Saros because it's not. It was not a situation where you could point and say, well, that goalie was the problem, because I don't think that was the problem. But I almost wonder, and I know that Sweden's game ended differently than Finland's game, but I almost feel like maybe they're not, and it seems weird to say, but maybe in these prelims they're not giving full effort, and I hate saying that because it sounds terrible, or they're not taking their opponent seriously.
Yeah, you do have to wonder, because look, Finland is a powerhouse when you're talking about men's hockey. Like, this is a team that typically competes for a medal, one of the really good ones.
Right.
And I was surprised by both games today.
Yeah.
I was surprised by both games today, especially the game against Italy. And we can dive into this later, but so many of these teams are made up of NHLers.
Yeah.
Except Italy. They have zero NHL players on their roster. So I do wonder, is this jet lag? Is this, hey, we are used to playing with these other players as opponents, and we're trying to figure out how do we mesh all of these NHL players together? How do we, I don't know what it is. Now, I will say this, when it comes to Saros, that's not the game you wanted to see him have.
No.
To start the Olympics. But again, I'm with you. Let's be very, very careful not to write the final page of
I don't think that
the narrative yet.
Following this team, you've got 4 players. You've got four
Right.
players you can
Correct.
watch and say, these are the guys that I watch and follow in the regular season. These are the guys from my team. And then they go to the Olympics, and you want to see the guys from your team do well. So particularly crappy in the sense that Saros didn't get to come out and just have an all-star performance, and
Right.
then that Forsberg played like a minute in his game. But we talk about that later. We got to get to the other happy.
Yes, we do.
So it was bookends.
Let's
That's the
bookend
theme.
it.
Bookends today. My happy is figure skating.
Let's go.
And I'm going to tell you, always, the Olympics, and I feel like the Olympics used to be much more like must-see TV in that everything else was preempted. And now you've got so many channels, like you can still watch power slap competitions and stuff whenever you want.
That's not an Olympic sport, right?
No, but I'm
Okay.
saying that's you're competing. There's a lot more competition now. But I always loved figure skating growing up, and I'm going to tell you, it's interesting being in a world where I have a child that plays youth hockey, and so I'm around a lot of other youth hockey players. 99.9% boys, right?
Right.
And that's what they're talking about too.
Really?
And they're talking about USA figure skating. They're talking about the competition, and of course they're all hyped up about the quad god.
Oh,
and
my
the
goodness.
backflip. And,
so amazing.
But it's interesting because they're taking this. I think they've realized that the figure skaters are taking pretty much the same tools that they use to skate. There's modifications. There's difference in the skates, but they're using it to do something graceful.
Yes.
And the skill and the strength and the ability and the training that goes into it. My son takes skating lessons on the ice at the same time as the figure skaters are figure skating. And it's, it's always like, oh, they're in the way. I'm trying to go hard down. And it's like, well, but they don't do the same thing on the ice that you do. And so you worry that there could be some cause for, well, I'm going to start thinking negatively about it. But that's the big surprise for me, is that everyone has really been very supportive and excited about this as much as they're excited about hockey coming up. And it's nice to talk international.
It is.
But I want to talk local. And Tennessee Valley Paving is a third-generation family-owned and operated company serving Middle Tennessee since 1957. They handle everything from driveway and parking lot paving to municipal and commercial projects, and even specialty work like tennis courts and aviation pads. They're bonded, hold an unlimited license, and ready to serve your paving and sealing needs. Call Tennessee Valley Paving today at 615-794-2351 or visit TennesseeValleyPaving.com. Tennessee Valley Paving, serving the region with quality you can count on. If you're looking for the best spot to catch every game, head over to East Nashville's favorite sports bar, Beyond the Edge. With over 30 TVs and 25 beers on tap, you'll never miss a moment. They've got you covered for lunch, dinner, and late night, serving food all the way until 2 a.m. Plus, enjoy happy hour every weekday from 2 to 6, and don't miss 2-for-1 Sundays. That's Beyond the Edge at 112 South 11th Street in East Nashville, your home for every game. Welcome back to Penalty Box Radio Live. Anne's here with me still. We haven't given up on this Wednesday, this Monday of Wednesdays. And walked out of the studio in anger and frustration at the Cosmos.
No, it's too much. It's too much today to try to tackle. We're just going to sit in it.
Definitely too much today. So here's what I'm going to say. We're going to recap the last PBR week, and there's not a lot to talk about. I mean, the Preds did play 2 games since we were last talking about the Preds.
Yes. Interesting games too. Very important games. It was one of those things where, we all know that the Predators, where they're at in the standings, how valuable every single point is. Interesting game with the Minnesota Wild. They lost in overtime. But again, can we point out this was another game where the Nashville Predators went down early, down 2-0, 4 minutes into the game. This is a team, though, that battled back, and they lost it in overtime. Can we just one day do a show, a whole show on 3-on-3 overtime? I have thoughts. But then they went immediately from the overtime loss against the Wild, which I think, there are some positives to take away from the way that game went. And then you head right on the road to Washington for the last game before the break. And this game, again, Nashville went down early, went down 3-0. In the second period, they were down by 3 goals. Nashville comes back, make it a 1-goal game.
Right.
It's interesting. And then Washington gets that power play goal to make it 4-2 loss to the Capitals. So 2 interesting games. Definitely not the point collection that the Predators want, but there were some good things to like about it. But I also think it leans into more of a descriptor of like, who is this team? Who is this team, Shaun?
Well, and that's the $1 million question. And I think the big thing is, we've made this the theme of our show for the past 5 weeks.
Yes.
6 weeks. What do we know about this team?
Know?
And I think we know what we know now. And let's talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is this team? Okay.
Yeah. So
let's do 5 things we know.
Okay, we're going to look at us. 5 things. Okay, so do you want me to kick it off or
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to unfurl my scroll of things I know. We'll just stick it to 5. That'll be fine. The most important thing that I think that we know for sure, and nothing about this is a surprise to anybody. This is a team that lacks center depth.
Okay, that's we definitely know that.
We know that. You've got Ryan O'Reilly as your 1C. Love Ryan O'Reilly. I think on a contending team, he's not your 1C guy.
Right.
You've got Eric Haula here on a 1-year deal, older veteran. You've got Michael McCarron. We had Fedor Svechkov.
Right.
Fedor Svechkov showed some flashes and there, but didn't put it together. And we could do another whole show on, the expectations for Svechkov were, hey, you're going to center some big time guys. And, he's back in Milwaukee now, getting some reps in Milwaukee. I think it'll be interesting to see what that does for Fedor Svechkov. Right now, you have Tyson Jost centering the bottom line. There just isn't center depth for this team, and that is so critical. It's really something that sets this team back.
You've got to have centers that drive play.
Yes.
And we've talked before, and the term we like to use is less skilled.
Fair.
Right? You when you have a less skilled player doing this, are used to playing with more skilled players. It's not a knock on anybody, right?
No,
everybody
certainly
has
not.
their role, but it's almost like you want to see down the middle of that roster, down the middle of those forward lines, guys that can get the job done on all facets of the game. In the offensive zone and the defense, through the neutral zone, they can back check, they can do everything they need to do as a center. And I think, like you said, the best way you could sum this up, Ryan O'Reilly is the 1C on this team, and he's a great 1C on this team. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to look at a team that's going to go into the playoffs and have a strong chance at making things happen, he's likely a 2C.
Correct.
And you don't have that 1C that I think this team has looked for and needed for so long.
And again, not a surprise about the team this year. I think we all knew this looking at the roster going in, but it remains a thing.
I'll say another thing that we know about this team.
Number 2.
Come from behind.
Yes.
Putting that in air quotes, from behind is not a season-long recipe for success. And we've seen the Preds come back from some incredible deficits and then just awesome games you like to watch. And like I said, I got to bring 2 young hockey fans, not even hockey fans, just 2 young kids, my son's friends, to a game where they had an incredible comeback. And they were like, oh, my gosh, this is incredible.
Yes.
Well, I've been missing out on this for the first 11 years of my life. I need more of this. Mm-hmm. That's how you make fans. But they don't always come back. And every regulation loss that you've seen this team have, you can tell, well, they come from behind. Well, every regulation loss, they didn't.
Correct.
It's a failed attempt at coming from behind. And plus, I want to say this too. It's fun to talk about making it to OT and, well, you're going to come away with 1 point regardless. And, well, we came away with points in 4 out of 4 games, and that's a big win. How many points do you get in the playoffs in an overtime loss?
You get a nothing.
You get nothing.
You get a Monday, Wednesday. You get a nothing.
That's to me, that's an issue.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It is amazing to watch what this team can do. It's amazing to see the drive, determination that this team has, but that is not a long-term solution.
Oh, and it's exciting.
It's very fun to cover.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Here's a third one that I would say, Shaun,
Okay.
and I'm going to quote somebody else, but I heard this phrase and I thought, nailed it.
Yeah.
This team is, quote, aggressively average.
Yeah.
And I need to credit Emma Lingen, who works for the Hockey News. She came up with that, and I thought, that is great. This is an aggressively average team. I think you are seeing your best players play some of their best hockey, and you love to see that. But I do think the sum of the parts make this an average team. And when we see them do like the St. Louis Blues, come from 4 goals down to win it, that is because this is an aggressively average hockey team.
Yeah.
And that's just roster construction. They have won impressive games. This is a team that has fight. They have drive. But I don't know that this is a team that is built to be a deep contending team. It's just not.
No, and we wondered for a while. I mean, it didn't start off great, and then it got better, and it was like, is this real? And that was our
question.
Is this real? And I think the reality is what this is a team that is going to probably fall right outside of the playoffs, or just through a series of events that I cannot predict squeak in.
Correct.
But again, I'm doubling down on the fact that I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs. I said that a couple weeks ago. I'm going to stand by it. They've done some cool things. They've gotten some points, but they're still where they are. And
4 points out.
4 points out of the last wild card spot. So and then the other two things I think we could add here, I think they're related. We do know that change is coming, or not.
Or not.
Change is coming. New GM coming. It could be someone from totally outside of the organization that is going to come in and bring fresh new ideas, or it may be somebody that's already in the organization that they're going to basically promote from assistant general manager. And in that case, you might not be getting as dramatic of change as you think you might. But regardless, the final thing
I think is that here is what we know. This is not a team that can kickstart a total tear down and rebuild in the traditional sense. They can't do it right now. And I know that there's a lot of people clamoring for it because, again, we just said it, this is an aggressively average team. This is not a team that if it remains the same in 2 years is going to become a cup contender.
Right.
But this is also not a team that can just sell it all and start from scratch. For one thing, you can't sell it all because you have major players on no-move clauses. You've got Yost, Forsberg, Marchessault, Stamkos, Saros, no moves.
Yeah.
Unless they want to.
Unless they agree to
Unless
it.
they agree to it. And I think that there are some players on that list that they're not interested in doing that. I also think you have to know what you have in the pipeline. If you are not paying attention to who is playing how in Milwaukee and in the OHL and overseas, you probably need to lower your voice as you talk about a rebuild.
Right.
Because what you have in the pipeline affects what you can do. Are you going to waste some prospects that are already there? And I think you have to be mindful of that. So, I understand that this team is not where it needs to be, where you want it to be, but you can't do what a lot of people say you need to do to fix it.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be some creative maneuvers, whether it is by somebody new or not.
Right. And that's what we know about the Predators. We'll talk more about this in the next segment. But and while that's what we know about the Predators, your youth hockey players' potential is unlimited with Verbero Selects. Verbero Selects is a premier youth hockey organization dedicated to developing elite athletes through high-level training, competitive play, and character-driven leadership. Their spring and summer 2026 programs are designed for players who want to elevate their game, compete at a high level, and grow both on and off the ice. Players will receive actual coaching and a fully organized spring hockey experience from start to finish. They honor the traditions of the game while building athletes defined not just by skill, but by discipline, toughness, purpose, and leadership. Verbero Selects will compete in elite tournaments this spring and summer, including events in Nashville and Denver, with flexible registration options available. They've just added Chicago as well. Each registered player receives a complete uniform package. For full schedules, age groups, pricing options, and registration details, visit verberoselects.com. That's VERBERO Selects.com. This segment of Penalty Box Radio Live is brought to you by Penalty Box Radio. That's right. This segment is brought to you by us. And if you're listening to this and you're saying, well, that's kind of a weird way to come in to the third segment of a radio show, then maybe you're paying attention. And if you're paying attention, so are your potential customers. So if you're out there listening and you hear this and you say to yourself, this would be a great place for my business to have an advertisement, then give me a holler. You can reach me at Shaun at penaltyboxradio.com. That's SHAUN at penaltyboxradio.com, or reach out to me on social media as well. All right, we're back.
We are back.
We're back.
Great song, by the way.
You know what I love about the music coming in from these segments? That if you're listening to the podcast, you're like, what? Song? What are you
That's
talking
true.
about?
Oh, it was Whitesnake. Here I go again.
Yeah. And
Top tier.
Yeah,
Top tier 80s hair band.
The first segment was Round and Round by Rat. That's our
Rat with
producer
two
Brandon
T's.
in there hooking us up. He's always got
so
the
good.
jams.
He's so good.
So good. He's a wonderful producer. I'm telling you, just can't say enough good things about him. And I'm not just saying that because he's staring at me menacingly.
He's got his hand on the dump button, y'all.
He is out when we've had to record but when we've had to broadcast from home via Zoom, anything. He's there. He's awesome. I can't say enough good things about him. I don't know what they're paying him, but it should be more.
Amen.
It should be more.
Yeah.
And look, you're never going to go wrong saying something like that. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just support the people that support you. I think that's good advice. All right. It's not an Olympic winter event. It's a summer Olympic event. But we're going to talk about hurdles in this segment. This was Ann's idea. If it goes,
if I had workshopped it more, I would have found a good,
like a comparison in Winter Olympics.
the 3 biathlon points of the third segment. But alas,
we could do a whole show on biathlon. Now,
that is the sport I would secretly excel at.
Yeah, no, I feel
that's my take.
I love it. It's an exciting sport, and if you don't know what we're talking about, that is, of course, cross-country skiing,
which is ridiculously hard,
and shooting a rifle.
Yes.
So it's really
fun.
Really cool.
Yeah. Anyway,
check
hockey.
It out. But we're talking about hockey, and we're talking about hurdles, and what we want to talk about this segment is the Preds moving forward. They have some hurdles they have to face, and we're just going to jump right into it.
I see what you did there. I see what you did. All right, our first hurdle.
This Wednesday's feeling more like a Tuesday by the minute.
We are going to creep down the week and make it a Wednesday by the end.
All right, let's go.
The first hurdle that the Nashville Predators face is, of course, the trade deadline. And friends,
elephant in the room.
What is going to happen? A lot could happen. A little could happen.
Right.
And I think let's talk about some of the options. I think, a big move, Shaun, for the Nashville Predators
big moves.
would be Ryan O'Reilly.
Okay.
Would be a Jonathan Marchessault.
Okay.
Would
Those
be
are big moves.
Steven Stamkos, which I don't think.
You don't think that's going to happen?
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either. I want to say this, though. With the Ryan O'Reilly move, I mean, that's probably your most valuable piece that you have. And I hate when you get to this point in the season, you start talking about these guys that you've watched play, and that and realistically, that we at least have gotten to know over the years, and start talking to them about movable commodities. It's not fun.
I hate that. I don't like that.
It is the business, and they understand that too.
Yeah.
That's someone I think that it would take a blockbuster deal. Not blockbuster deal in the sense of the next first-round draft picks for the next 3 years.
We're getting Macklin Celebrini, y'all.
Right. I don't mean blockbuster, but I mean that for what this would be the big move.
This would be what would get you the biggest haul if the Nashville Predators opted to say Ryan O'Reilly, who has another year on his contract.
Correct.
So it makes him pretty enticing for a team that wants to be a contender and says, you know what, our window is not this season. We've got a little more window and we'd like a little more experience. So there's a lot that's very tempting about Ryan O'Reilly for other teams. And again, I come back to you have to weigh what is the offer.
Right.
And what is his value if he remains?
Right.
And people weigh those things very, very differently. And it will be interesting to see, what does Barry Trotz think? Because here's the thing, Barry Trotz is picking up his phone. If his phone is ringing, Barry Trotz is picking up his phone, especially if there's a conversation about Ryan O'Reilly. And there are conversations. There are,
sure.
rumors and discussions that there are teams that would love a Ryan O'Reilly.
Absolutely.
So I think that is going to be very interesting. What does Barry Trotz do with Ryan O'Reilly? And the other thing is, timing is everything.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of teams that are still on the bubble in the Western Conference. Are they still going to push to go for it? If Barry Trotz comes back out of this Olympic break and goes, I know what I know, and we're going to make some moves, you want to be the team ready to make the move before the other teams decide, oops, we're not in it, we should sell.
Right.
You want to get first to the market.
Yeah.
And so I think timing is going to be very interesting when it comes to big moves.
Well, the language you're using there is very similar to what Bill Haslam was saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They want to be first. We're looking for a GM. We want everybody to know we're looking for a GM before all the GMs are available. And so they want to be first to the market in that situation. They want to be first to the market here. Those are your bigger moves.
Yes.
There's probably some other moves that would move the needle a little bit, but I don't know that you would necessarily have as big of a return, or in some cases have to give up as much to make them happen. Michael McCarron, for example, we've talked about him as a trade target for several weeks now. He's got an expiring contract. It's not going to cost a lot at all. I mean, it's a bargain contract for what you're getting, because he's reliable. He's depth reliable, which, you don't always have guys in your depth that are reliable. They're here and there sometimes, but this is also a guy that is, got a little bit of the blind side in him. He's going to keep you safe, and not that, it's all about having an enforcer out there, and I don't think that's a role he even relishes, but he is someone who's willing to make a point and prove a point and stand up for his teammates. Yeah,
I think this is the type of player that teams that are in the window to make a deep cup run say, you know what, it'd be great if we could shore up some depth. McCarron is a name I think that people are talking about. Of course, you've got Eric Haula on an expiring contract as well. But again, I say, if you talk, you know what, let's clean house. Let's trade Ryan O'Reilly. Let's trade Eric Haula. Let's see what we can get for Michael McCarron. Y'all, who's centering? Who's centering, unless you get somebody back, or you say, you know what, Steven Stamkos, we love what you're doing on the wing and you are absolutely killing it, but could you just move over just a scotch? If you could just a scotch to your right. I don't think that's what the Nashville Predators want to do either. No. So I think it's going to be very interesting when it comes to Haula, McCarron, Ryan O'Reilly, and the center position. What is Barry Trotz going to do with that? There's also some other potential moves, of course. Nick Blankenberg, jack of all trades. Yeah, I think he's a solid defender. Yeah, Cole Smith, another one that I think teams
just a penalty killing menace. Just forecheck, back check. I mean, just up and down the ice. Yeah, speed, strength.
Yep. Michael Bunting. I love Michael Bunting.
Grit.
Love him. He reminded the Predators last season that, no, you really can go to the front of the net.
You can.
And the goals count the same amount.
It's weird.
It's amazing. And then, of course, you've got Tyson Jost on an expiring contract. So there are pieces that can move. It's going to be fascinating to see when action starts and how much action that there is. So that's kind of the first hurdle. We got to get through the trade deadline and figure out what is this roster going to look like and what is the return for Nashville based on whatever moves happen.
And look, I'm just going to say this right now. We may not get through all the hurdles in this segment. We'll finish in the last segment.
Yes.
If we don't. But it's important we talk about all of them, because I think we want to be thorough here, because we won't be on the air again for a couple of weeks with the Olympics. So second hurdle, of course, in the, talking about what Barry Trotz is going to do, it's also that position, a new general manager.
Yeah, this is huge because, and we talked about this in the, I think it was the first segment. What is time?
Don't even know.
It's Monday, Wednesday. It could be very, very different.
Yeah.
Or
very, very
not
the same. Could be business as usual. But
it could
be different.
And so you have to be prepared for anything. In the future, it's very hard to say, what is this team going to look like 3 seasons from now? because you may have a general manager come in here or somebody for the front office if they decide to hire, a director of hockey ops or however they work the front office or president of hockey ops, however they work the front office. It's very hard to anticipate what their viewpoint will be on the roster and where this team needs to go and on the prospects. So the second hurdle is you've got to figure out who's going to steer your ship. And again, this is wide open.
Yeah.
This could be anything or not.
Could be nothing.
Could be nothing.
Could just be a blip on the radar.
It could be a blip.
So that, to me, you're looking at. It's interesting going into the trade deadline knowing that you're going. You usually don't do that.
Right.
You usually have a trade deadline with the general manager, and then at the end of the season, that's when they get let go. Not a ton of at least, look, I'm probably wrong. I'll say it, and then somebody will be like, no, it happens all the time. You'll see a coach go. Usually I don't feel like you see a general manager go till the end of the season. But I think it's interesting that you are giving the new general manager basically – you don't know who it's going to be, but you've got the old one knowing it's not going to be him.
Yes.
And so I don't know how you approach that.
How do you weigh that out? What is Barry Trotz's priority? Give the next general manager this similar roster and let them go with it? Or, David Poyle just gave him pockets full of picks.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what Barry Trotz feels like is the priority for what's next.
So, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of uncertainty, but you know what's always certain? That when it comes to barbecue in East Nashville, nothing hits like Drifter's Barbecue. Smoked slow and low, their pulled pork, ribs, and wings bring real smokehouse flavor. And at Drifter's, it's not just about the food, Ann, it's about the music. They've got live music every night. From Riders Night on Mondays to Bluegrass Sundays on their covered, heated patio. Great food, great music, and the perfect East Nashville vibe. Drift over to Drifter's Barbecue at 1008B Woodland Street in East Nashville. That's Drifter's Barbecue, slow, low, and local. Welcome back to Penalty Box Radio Live. This segment of Penalty Box Radio Live is brought to you by Tennessee Valley Paving. Tennessee Valley Paving has been family-owned and operated since 1957, now in its third generation. From residential driveways to commercial lots, city roadwork, and specialty paving like tennis courts and aviation pads, they do it all. Plus, they offer sealing to protect your investment. Need paving you can trust? Call 615-794-2351 or visit TennesseeValleyPaving.com. Tennessee Valley Paving, trusted locally and built to last. We are back, Ann.
We are back with Barry.
And it looks like we made it.
Oh, top tier. Again, nailed it.
So, we want to clear this last hurdle. And we don't want to spend a lot of time on it because we do want to talk more Olympic hockey.
Yes.
And of course, the last hurdle here is the head coach. Now, we're not saying that the new general manager is going to come in and fire the head coach. We're not saying that at all. But, Ann?
That is one of the things that I think Predators fans need to have in the back of your mind is sort of the next hurdle. You're going to get through this trade deadline. You're going to decide what you're going to do in your front office, who's going to lead that. And then what does that mean for Andrew Brunette? And Andrew Brunette has been on a hot seat off and on. He has been Barry Trotz's guy. He was asked before the Olympic break, what does a change in general managing, how does that affect Andrew Brunette and his job security? This is what Andrew Brunette had to say about that.
Well, I think, in my position, it's terminal. I think if there's not a day go by, you don't think about what's going to happen. Meaning, even if Barry's still here, it's part of coaching life, and I picked it, I chose it, and I understand it. And I've been in this game for 30 plus years. I know how it works, and I'm focused on our group right now, and I'm focused on the day. And it's a big game against a really, really good team, and a big time year for us. So I'm excited for our group here tonight. I'm excited for the game.
So I think, that's the perspective. I love what he said, this job is terminal. So I think keep your eyes open as the Predators progress through what comes next, what will happen there. Just something to think about.
Something to think about. Now, we're going to move back into Olympic hockey.
Do the PSA. Do the PSA.
We want to do a public service announcement, and I think this is very important. And I want, look, I'm going to tell you straight up, Ann.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of people that are really hyped up for Olympic hockey on the heels of the Four Nations face-off last season. And
yes.
What I'll say about this is that was incredibly wise planning. I think it was a wonderful opportunity to do something different.
Brilliant.
It brought back the concept of international play, and it got a lot of people watching, and it got a lot of people talking. And again, as someone who works in a place where I'm not surrounded by a ton of hockey fans, people know that I'm the guy to talk to about hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I had so many more conversations about hockey because of that Four Nations face-off and because it was so exciting and really just because of the heated, just battle-intensive games between Canada and the United States. And what's interesting about that is there were a lot of fights.
A lot of fights.
A lot of fights.
A lot.
I know even my youth hockey player at home. And all of his teammates were excited by it. We watched it together.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't wait to see it was going to happen. We cheered. We went back and rewatched fights, and it was great.
It was great.
And what you're probably thinking is, I'm signing on to the Olympic Games solely to watch this battle progress and continue.
Spicy.
And?
There is no fighting in Olympic hockey. A fight equals an ejection.
Yep.
So I just think it's important to set that expectation. You are going to see great hockey. You're going to see competitive hockey. You are going to see hockey players battling because they want and have wanted for so long to represent their home country, and they can, and they are excited about that. But friends, there is no fighting in Olympic hockey. So I just feel like it's good to set that expectation in case you're wondering, what has cooled between the U.S. and Canada?
Why aren't they fighting?
What? Nothing has cooled. They just can't do it.
Can't. No,
they can't
can.
Do it. Well, they can. It's a choice.
But you're not going to like the result.
Fair. Yes. Fights equal ejection in Olympic hockey.
So just so we're abundantly clear, there is no fighting in Olympic hockey. Now, Ann.
Yes.
What else is different? Because that can't be the only thing.
No, it is. There also, some of the calls are a little bit different. So again, just know going in, it's going to be great hockey, but this is not NHL rules hockey. So when you have contact in a game at the Olympics, penalties will be assessed based on not the result of the hit, was a player injured, but what was that hit reckless?
Right.
So it's not about result. Also, just another fun little fact, offsetting minor penalties don't result in 4-on-4. They will keep a player in there. It'll be 5-on-5. So just some little things that are going to look a little bit different.
Okay. And it's not that's not so wild and it's not crazy, but it is important to note there are some differences. The biggest one being, I want to review this.
PSA.
There is no fighting.
No fighting.
In Olympic hockey.
At all.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be good hockey. You
won't be disappointed.
You're not going to be disappointed.
But you're not going to see fights.
But you're not going to see. You might.
I mean, you might, but it would be a bad choice.
You're not going to like the result, is what I'll say.
Also, just real quick, net guards required at the Olympics. So it'll be interesting that the NHL players are required to play in net guards.
Would you believe it's not that hard to wear a net guard?
I absolutely can't believe it. It sounds torturous.
When they mandated that at the youth hockey levels, we'd gone one season without them, and then it was like the kids were like, yeah, it's fine. I don't care, whatever. Yeah. And then it was nice to see some of the NHL guys. Mm-hmm. If you remember Jeremy Lauzon, Luke Shin, both wore them.
Stastny.
Spencer Stastny's mother was making him wear one.
Let's hear it for Kathy Stastny.
Absolutely. Got to give it up for Kath.
She's amazing, regardless of the net guard.
And I want to point out to everybody that our producer Brandon is going to give us a 1-minute warning because we have a tendency to chit chat here at the end. But let's get a couple things out of the way because I bet he's getting that mic hot. Roman Josi will be playing tomorrow.
Yes,
as Switzerland takes on France, and then of course on the 13th, Finland will play Sweden. And Canada will play.
There's 1 minute remaining.
Switzerland.
Canada will play Switzerland.
Yep.
And then on the 14th, on Valentine's Day, Sweden will play Slovakia and Finland will play Italy. Now, look, when's the U.S. going to play? You're going to know. They're going to make announcements. Don't worry.
Follow us. We'll tweet it.
Those are the games with Preds in them. So, and last thing I want to say about the net guards, nobody wants to watch anybody bleed out on international network television. So
or anywhere.
Don't complain about it. They're going to be fine. And make your prediction quickly.
Very quickly, don't mean to disloyal. I'm going with Canada. You have a top line of Macklin Celebrini, Sidney Crosby, and I don't even care if another guy shows up on that top line with Connor McDavid, Cale Makar. Goaltending, maybe a little worry. I'm going Team Canada.
I'm going America because of American goaltending dominance. And you know what?
It's good.
If you predict an American victory, even if you're wrong, you're right.
Oh.
Okay. Thanks for listening to Penalty Box Radio Live, presented by Tennessee Valley Paving, Beyond the Edge, East Nashville, Boston Commons, Drifters Barbecue, Verbero Selects, and Timber and Blade. We'll see you again next week.